January 27, 1926, Scottish inventor John Baird presented the first successful public demonstration of television, and the world would never be the same. Baird's television featured a spirally perforated rotating disc, which functioned as a mechanical scanner. Used with a photoelectric cell which converted light into electrical impulses, this device could break down an image into a sequence of tiny pictorial elements. The images were sent via a transmitter to a receiver, which reassembled the impulses into the picture, ready for viewing. During this time, inventors were also developing an electronic scanning system, which was the second type of method for sending television pictures. Both methods transmitted pictures only. Sound was sent by radio. Electronic scanning using the cathode ray picture tube proved to be the best method. In 1928, General Electric presented the first dramatic production on television, The Queen's Messenger. The sound portion of the show was simulcast over a radio station. 2 years later, GE broadcast a cartoon image of Felix the Cat instantaneously from New York to Sydney, Australia, and back. In 1932, NBC, a subsidiary of RCA, started broadcasting experimental telecasts from the Empire State Building. 2 years later, field tests were made of an all-electronic system which sent higher quality pictures. Television was seen as the wave of the future. The first regular television service started in 1939, when NBC broadcast the opening ceremonies of the New York World's Fair. The same year, the first television sets were sold to the public. The TV picture quality was getting better, as improvements were made in the production of the cathode ray tube. Consumers could choose from over 3 dozen models, costing from $150 to $1,000. In 1941, sound transmissions for television were transferred from AM to FM frequencies, where they remained. Both the video and audio signals were broadcast as an RF signal, and a single antenna was used. During its first year, the NBC station was on the air for an average of 2 hours a day, televising more than 1,000 programs. Television studios were set up with special lighting. The cameras, which were focused by the twist of a handle, were positioned so each one captured a different angle. The cameramen wore headphones so they could hear instructions from the director, who watched what the cameras were capturing on a monitor in the control room.
All right, switch to 1. Now roll into a close-up of the string section. Now pan across the orchestra from the brass to the strings. Now back to your original position and pan over to include the conductor.
On December 7, 1941, CBS broadcast the first televised newscast, reporting on the events at Pearl Harbor. The war subsequently slowed the development of television, but after the war, progress continued. By 1948, there were 36 television stations on the air and about 1 million sets in use. By 1950, more people watched television than listened to radio. The first color broadcast was made on June 12, 1951 by CBS. By the mid-1950s, television was a multi-billion-dollar advertiser-driven industry, with the 3 networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, at the forefront. Television has made it possible for millions of people to share a single experience. 750 million people saw John F. Kennedy's funeral in 1963, and about 600 million people watched the first man walk on the moon in 1969. The impact that television has had on the world is immeasurable and profound. And it all started that day back in 1926, when the world got its first telecast of the future.